online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Who run the world? Girls! Who run the world? Girls! Hello, fellow pitches! It's your host, Kanika Lal for AFTERBUZZ TV, and we are talking about a very special edition Spotlight On. Before I introduce my lovely, lovely guest, make sure to check us out on youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. We're on iTunes and SoundCloud. You can check out all of our after shows. We have over 400 Spotlight Ons, red carpet interviews, whatever you would like. And I am here with a very, very beautiful, talented singer, actress, writer. You may have seen her in the latest and biggest musical franchise, Pitch Perfect 2. May I please welcome Chrissie Fit. Woo! Woo, woo. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. This microphone is like my size. Like, how humongous is this mic?
Right? Like, it's like the head to the chest, right? That's
like,
all.
you can't see me now. Okay, you see me.
But thank you for being here because you probably have had a crazy, I don't know, year with Pitch Perfect 2 and other productions you're in, right?
Teen Beach 2.
Teen Beach 2.
If it's a sequel, then you can catch me in it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's been a crazy couple months, especially like the last week and a half with like the premiere, which was massive. It was like the Oscars meets the Grammys. I don't even know. I was like doing an interview at one point, and they were like, "All right, that's it for Chrissie Fit. Back to you, Mark." And I was like, "Where the heck is Mark?
Where is he? Who is he with? That's crazy.
Who is he? What is he doing? Who's Mark?" You know, I was just like, it was like interviews
that
all over
scale
the place. Yeah,
of it. Oh my god,
ginormous.
Well, I would not be surprised actually, just because Pitch Perfect 2 is such a big franchise. I mean, the first one was a success, and then you would not think a sequel would be just as good, but this was, I wouldn't say even, like, it could be even better than the first one.
Thank
you know, honestly, like, I saw the movie over the weekend, and congratulations, honestly. Congratulations for doing such a good job with your role, and for also, to everyone else being part of Pitch Perfect 2, for making it, the box office revenue was $70 million.
I know, it was insane. Just because the first one was a success in its own right. It was on a smaller scale, and it was kind of like word of mouth. Yeah. Everyone was like, "This is so funny. You guys have to check it out. You have to." So the expectations were really high for the second one. But from the beginning, like all the girls who were in the first one, they knew that they were making this for the fans. You know, and that was like their biggest concern. They wanted them to be happy and enjoy the second movie as much as they enjoyed the first one.
Yeah,
and
completely.
So it's cool that it's been so great and everybody's loving it, and it's been so successful at the box office, and I'd like to think that I have something to do with that because I'm in the second one.
Definitely. You being the second one, I loved your character. And speaking of your character, though, she comes from a South American background, and so do you. You're Cuban.
I'm Cuban, so I'm a Caribbean.
More Caribbean.
Same.
They're all Latina, right? Latina.
Yeah, we're all a big family. My cousins in South America and Mexico.
That's so nice. And you grew up in Miami, right?
I grew up in Miami, so there is a lot of different countries in Miami. I had many Colombian friends, Venezuelan friends, Puerto Rican friends. So it was like I embrace the culture so much, and I love it so much.
Completely. But what was it like living in Miami before you moved up to Los Angeles? Before you kind of reached that level of fame that you have right now.
Okay. I'm like, just if I wasn't brown, I'd be like blushing.
That's a good thing about being brown.
Yeah,
you can't see her glow or blushing.
Around crushes, you never know.
Exactly.
But yeah, I love Miami so much. I was just there and just was reminded of like the energy there. It's just so like vibrant and alive, and like it's just, I mean, my whole family's there. So, I obviously like really have such a good like feeling about that place, and yeah, and I moved from there when I was like a little bit older, so I've experienced Miami in all shapes, forms, everything. Like I did the whole South Beach thing.
Yeah, right.
I did, you know, all that
Ocean
stuff.
Drive, all of those.
Yeah. So I love it so much, and I'm just so thankful to have grown up there because I spoke Spanish.
Right, which is such a good thing that you learned that you're bilingual. It pays off.
I mean, if I wanted to talk to my grandfather, I needed to know Spanish,
right? Because he was not gonna.
Yeah, he didn't speak English, so you know, I'm grateful for that because just like the culture is so alive in Miami.
Yeah. Definitely. I've been there and I loved it.
Oh
like,
yeah, the humidity is not that much fun.
No, I guess not. I haven't spent too much time there. Mostly just like in the weekends of the week, like just partying and with my friends. I have to say, I turned 21 back then. So, and you're also your family. They came from. I mean, they have a lot of musical. I feel like your family has a musical background to them, right? Is that kind of what led you to your passion of wanting to perform and acting and singing? Part of it, or?
Yeah, I mean, my grandfather played the guitar, and my mom and her sisters would sing and they'd harmonize, and I was always like, that's just so cool, you know, that they can do that at family parties, and so my dad is always so into music. Like his dream was to be a DJ.
Really?
You know? Yeah. Like, you know, El Sol 95 con Miguel, you know, like all in Spanish, all that stuff. And that was like his thing. So he loves music so much. And I mean, for a while, he was like working at a hospital, like the director of admissions, and then also like DJing quinceañeras on the weekends. Just because he loves.
What an extreme! I love that.
I know. Just because he loves music so much. So music was always such a big part of my childhood, and so I was always like. I was surrounded by it, and they're so supportive, and they were always like, you do whatever you love to do. And you know, growing up in Miami, like that was also like very easy to be around that. And then also my music teacher in elementary school, Saily Hernandez, I love you.
Oh,
and she was amazing.
Mrs. Hernandez, shout out to you.
Yeah. She I was singing in the choir in first grade. I was doing like 50 Nifty United States from third. I still remember the song. Yeah. And she just plucked me out of the chorus, and she's like, get on the microphone. I want to hear you, you know, and so then I just started. You couldn't get me off the microphone. Oh my God,
I love that. How old were you? You were.
I think I was like 6 or something, or.
I also read that when you were in 6th grade, like you're a little Miss Achiever over here, that you pretty much created your own role.
Oh, yeah.
For a play?
Yeah.
I was like, this is a Miss Hollywood executive at age, 13?
I didn't even know, that I was
you wrote
doing
yourself
it.
in the script. I love that. What was it?
When I was, the motivation was not, it was funny because I liked a 6th grader.
Right.
And he was going to be at the show. And I was like, oh, if he sees me in the show, he's going to fall in love with me. So I got to get in the show. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
So I went to the Spanish teacher and I was like, I really want to be in this show. And she's like, I'm sorry, there's no more roles. And, you're also a 5th grader, so sorry. And I was like, oh, man. So I went home and I read the script and I realized that there wasn't a bad girl in it. And I was like, every story needs a bad girl.
Completely. You need an adversary, yeah.
So I went and I pitched, before I knew what pitching was, the idea to the Spanish teacher. And, I always say that I don't know if she, felt sorry for me or if she was impressed by, my initiative that she put me in the show. The guy didn't fall in love with me. His lost. No, just kidding.
Completely his lost. He's probably like, oh shit, what would have happened? But I fell in love with here.
Yeah, I fell in love with acting. So, it all worked out and it was fine.
That's adorable. I think that's so cute. Now, when did you decide to move to LA? What made you think okay, I'm actually take this very seriously?
Yeah. I think I realized once I was in college and stuff, I was like, well, the next step would either have to be to move to New York or to move to Los Angeles, just because there's more opportunities there. Right. And being from Miami, I was like, I don't know if I can deal with the cold.
Oh my God.
So then
you would not have. I mean, you would have maybe bared it, but it would have been hard for you.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit difficult. So I came to Los Angeles.
LA is a wise choice, completely. Did you kind of wanted to go for specific...
Although I love New York.
I know,
and I really want to be
don't get
there.
me wrong, I live in New York too, but maybe one day you'll have that time there, like a temporary...
Yeah.
Why not?
Right.
Do Broadway.
Show on Broadway?
Oh yes, wouldn't that be a dream?
That would be incredible.
You could totally direct, write, and act in a Broadway show. I will support you for that.
I've already written myself into a play. I might as well just like write a play and do it.
Completely. But when you first came out to LA, were you kind of going for specific roles? Maybe like you liked more of the drama genre or comedy?
For sure. Like when I first moved out to LA, like I studied theater and I'd done Shakespeare, and I was like, I am a dramatic actress. You know, I was like super like, I'm sorry guys, I've done Shakespeare. I gotta just do drama. You know, it's like so intense about it.
Right.
And then my friends were like, but you're funny. Like you should, you know. And I'm like, oh, no. And so I was on a soap opera for a while. And
General Hospital.
And that was wonderful. And then, you know, I just started writing with my best friend and writing partner, Serena Fiel. And what we gravitated towards was comedy. And so that's kind of like when we did our web series, The Sopranos, that's where I kind of like found my footing and my voice as like a comedian, and I said, you know, this is actually harder, you know? So I'm just like, I love a challenge, and so I kind of was like really open to anything. And so I essentially like one day want a career like, you know, Meryl Streep, who just does comedy and does dramas and does, you know, all these different kinds of characters. So now I'm like, bring it on.
Well, you know what you're getting, all of that different, you've had all that experience. I mean, first with General Hospital, that is just all drama. And being on a soap opera, don't get me wrong, I think it's like intense. I feel like you have to shoot one episode a day, and it's so many episodes that you're reeling out. I mean, that must have been a roller coaster for you.
I admire these actors so much because they really have to put so much work in every day because they shoot an episode a day.
Right.
And they have to memorize, and they have to be emotionally available all the time, and it's like, it's not easy work.
Right.
So I was really grateful for that experience because it was kind of like a boot camp in acting kind of stuff, you know, so it was really cool. And then I did a movie called Philly Brown, which was also a drama that went to Sundance, and that was a great experience too because I got to work with like some incredible Latino talent like Edward James Olmos and, you know, Jenny Rivera, who was wonderful, and I'm so grateful for that experience with her. Gina Rodriguez, who's just, you know, blowing up right now with Jane the Virgin. And I mean, so I've definitely had like the dramatic kind of thing, and so it's kind of cool to be able to like go back and forth and
completely, because you're pretty much open-minded with all the genres now today, right? That's good. I feel like
I would do like The Artist, another like a silent film.
Oh my god, completely.
But instead of like tap dancing, I'd like, you know, hip hop dancing.
Right.
I don't know.
Do you? By the way, you dance too, right? Or do you mostly?
I act like I can dance. You know, I can dance because I am Cuban and
you have that little.
You know, it's salsa merengue, like
completely.
Bachata.
Oh my god! I grew up with a Colombian friend, so I know a little bit about that, and I love the Latina culture. You have no idea. You have no idea. So, yeah.
But yeah, you know, when I did Teen Beach, I was like a crash course in dancing because these actors and these, you know, dancers are from like So You Think You Can Dance.
Right.
Christopher Scott choreographed both the movies, Teen Beach and then Teen Beach 2. And it was like super overwhelming. I was like, I don't even know if I can do all this stuff. And it was so cool because, again, you know, I was like, I'm up for it. I'm up for the challenge. And now I feel like I can hold my own, you know?
Right.
Not like, I'm not going to go on So You Think You Can Dance. Unless it's like a skit or a bit or something.
Hey, who knows? Who knows? But you overcame kind of that challenge of learning how to dance and act and sing at the same time. Yeah. Especially with Teen Beach Movie, and I feel like that led you to maybe prepared you for Pitch Perfect too. I mean,
oh, totally.
Teen Beach. First of all, how was that whole experience for you? Because the sequel's coming out in the summer.
I know.
You played Chi Chi, right?
I played Chi Chi with a bad biker babe. That's what I call her. But that was amazing. As well. We shot the movie, both of them, in Puerto Rico. So that was
my god, that's amazing. I
know.
It's like a party every day on the beach, man.
Totally. I mean, most of the time we were on the beach dancing in leather, which was not as fun as you know, being in a bathing suit by the beach. But it was incredible. It was fun, and it was even more like, I can't even describe the second time around because it was like all the friends together at in the same place we did the first one. You know, it's just like so cool that we are able to do that and also give like the fans of Teen Beach another movie because they're like the best fans ever. They're so loyal and so cool and so sweet. And
your fans, first of all, I would see pictures of you being Chi-Chi. Like, first of all, like the way you did your hair.
Yeah, that was all my real hair in the first movie. The second movie, no, girl.
No, the fans emulated it. I would see pictures of them dressing up in. Did you see that?
Yeah, like for Halloween.
Yeah,
I'm
like they made the hair exactly that way, and the costume was exactly the same. Like, that must be so nice for you to you know, that people are looking up to you and looking up to a character. I mean, it's a nice surreal feeling.
It's really cool, and especially in that movie, just because it's a period movie in a sense.
Yes.
And so, you know, in those movies back in when they were making them in the 50s or 60s and stuff, there weren't many Latinas on in those movies. So to be able to be, you know, in something like that and represent like Latinas for young girls to see, it was really kind of like special and important to me. So
Definitely.
I was like, yes, score.
No, definitely. Yeah, you make such a good point. I mean, there's now with the rise of Jane the Virgin, Cristela, even Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes.
There's just so much representation. And I think Stephanie Beatrice, she's an actress on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes, I've met her before. She's the sweetest.
She's the sweetest. Yeah. She made a comment about how when she grew up, she didn't see anyone who looked like her in TV shows, in the magazines. And now that she's seeing, you know, people dressing up like her for Halloween, you know, it's just so cool. It's great. It's just to see more diversity. I mean, I know it's kind of, I feel like it's slowly coming to Hollywood.
Yeah.
They're slowly trying to break out. But, I don't know, what's your opinion on that? Like, do you think, like, what more can Hollywood do or just, you know, any industry do to put that spotlight on the Latino community?
I think at this point, you know, we can talk about it all day and, like, say, we need to see more, we need to see more, we need to see more. But talking is, we need to do more. And we need to be in the position of power to be able to hire more Latinos we need more writers, producers, directors. We also need more executives because they understand us and they're not, you know, and I feel like that's like the next step. I am a writer and so my brain works that way.
Right.
I just feel like you need to create content, and that's why I admire people like Eva Longoria and I admire, you know, Sofia Vergara and Jennifer Lopez. Like, they're all producing and they're all trying to create more stuff for us, and we're just not like waiting for things to happen. You're just like, you're doing something, you're being proactive about it. So I think that's like the next thing. But having these positive, like, these women who are on TV now and doing and kicking butt, you know, it's
completely
just, like, wonderful, you know. And,
I know.
And so I think that it is slow, but it is changing. When I was a little girl, my jam was West Side Story, just because I was like, I am Maria, and I'm gonna meet a Tony, and I was just like so obsessed with it. And you know, the older I got, the more I was like, I need to be Anita. Anita's where it's at. Like, she's cool. But my mom would stop the movie after they would get married because she didn't want me to see that it became like a tragedy. Oh. So up until I was like 10 or 11, I thought that like West Side Story was the happiest movie ever.
Wait, when you found out that it wasn't, what happened?
Oh my God, it was so traumatic. I was just like, I would have rather them like tell me because I had this like super beautiful idea of the movie, and then when I was like 10 or 11, like they let me watch the whole thing, and I was like, oh my,
shock,
just like dreams crushed. Everything is over. But
that's like finding out Santa Claus isn't real or something like that.
Oh no!
Wait,
children who are watching this, she's lying.
I'm completely lying. I
real.
still believe in the Easter Bunny too. I saw some fur on my ground on Easter.
Tooth Fairy
and the Tooth Fairy,
yeah, awesome.
But that's great, and okay, but also like with your character of Flo, that's kind of going along the same, I guess, Latino. People might think it. I could see Flo being two ways, and you should correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
That one, it's like a stereotype that you're seeing her with that accent, you know, playing off that accent, playing off that story that she's been deported and she's, you know, she's an immigrant. But then you also see the other side, which is like, okay, yes, but it's a comedy after all.
Right.
And there's so much diversity in the movie.
Yes.
And you're kind of, in a comedic way, you're showing that this is actually a serious issue, that this happens. And you're making it even more serious by kind of going against I would say white girl problems that they
That's
were
exactly how
in
I
the film,
saw it, you know?
right? I don't know
Because
what people would say the reaction to your character, but
it's been like super positive. People think it's so funny, you know, but there are a couple of people that are a little bit upset, and with all due, I understand it 110%.
Yeah.
Like I validate those feelings because I understand and I get it.
Right.
But at the same time, I feel like we're missing like the bigger picture, because she is a foreign exchange student, yes, which justifies her accent. Obviously, you're gonna, you know, have an accent if you're not from this country.
Right.
She speaks perfect English. I was super adamant about certain things. I was like, she has to speak only English, you know, perfect English. She also has to understand everything everyone's saying,
Right.
never mispronounce something because she's not aware of the language, because
Right.
ultimately she's a really smart girl.
Yeah.
She's in the United States studying. She's at Barton University. She's at Barton
Yeah.
Bella, you know, and like she's kicking butt. And anytime she brings up any of the struggles that she's overcome in her childhood, which, you know, unfortunately are really real, it's to make fun of these white girl problems. Like,
Right.
Chloe's always like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to us. And Flo is kind of like, slow your roll, girl. Things could be worse, you
Yeah,
know? And
completely.
it's never in a malicious way. No one ever makes fun of Flo.
No.
Which I was like, that can't happen,
Right.
you know? And we had like, you know, we had discussions beforehand, and, you know, making sure that it was...
like you and Elizabeth Banks? Or
Yeah,
you,
yeah. Me and Elizabeth Banks and Kate Cannon was there, and you know, even with the joke of deportation and whatnot,
Right.
like there was another joke there. There was another joke there, and it just wasn't landing. It just wasn't working. I was like,
Interesting.
you know, what is it? It's because it's not honest. It's not real. After your student visa expires, no matter if you're Latino, if you're from England, if you're from China, you're gonna have to go back to your country.
Right.
So that's the
true.
honest truth, you know. And you know, if you don't laugh at the joke, at least continue the conversation, because it's still a problem. There's
That's
so
true.
many wonderful, incredible, hardworking Latinos and from other cultures that are here in this country who are
Right.
contributing, but because they don't have their papers, they're not viewed as, you know, citizen.
Yeah.
Or somebody
Yeah.
that's contributing, and they are, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get it, and I it's like weird. I, as an actress, never want to judge my characters,
Of
because I
course.
feel like I'm not going to justify, like I'm not going to give the performance what it needs.
Yeah.
But throughout the course of the movie, I fell in love with Flo, because she's just so freaking smart and
Yeah.
witty and
Yeah.
sarcastic and kind of a little condescending.
Right, exactly.
And like I love that
Completely.
about her. You know, she's just a funny girl, and I had so much fun playing her.
I'm sure it was a strong character. So much fun. It was the whole movie. I mean,
Yeah,
like, it
yeah.
was surreal. I'm sure from like the beginning you walked into the door to audition until right now. Like, what is one word to describe that Pitch Perfect 2 experience?
I almost went like total Pitch Perfect and was like, Akka,
Akka?
awesome.
I was thinking in my head, like, Akka amazing,
Akka
right?
amazing. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if there's a word, because there's just so much.
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling,
Yeah.
like it's like a sisterhood. I was in a sorority when I was in college, and then
Which
it just,
one?
Alpha Psi Delta,
Ah.
AZD. What else would you be? But you know, I was in a sorority, and like I'm a girl's girl. This is
Yeah.
why Pitch Perfect 2 was so. I was so like I was just so invested in this movie, and I was like,
Right.
I really want to be part of this, because it's 10 women, strong women who are so talented and amazing, written by a woman, Kate Cannon, who I admire, I love so much. You know, 30 Rock was one of my favorite shows. And, you know, Elizabeth Banks, who is just like, come on, she's...
Inspiration.
Yeah, she's so amazing, you know? And so I was really, really passionate about being in this movie because of all the women that are involved in making this. And,
Right.
And so, yeah. So.
It's really girl power.
So girl
Such
power.
girl power. This weekend like totally showed that. I loved it. How was the audition though, first of all? Was it really nerve-wracking when you were knowing you were going to be in front of Elizabeth Banks, who you so idolized, you know? And
yeah.
were you confident that you were going to make
No.
it? No. Interesting.
No. I went in there and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have a good time with it. And obviously the script was very like hush hush.
Yeah.
So the scene didn't necessarily make any sense. And I was just like, you know, I'm just going to... I get a tone for this character. It's very sarcastic. So let me just play that up and just like create this character. And so I went in there and I did the scene, and I'll never forget, she was just like, that tickled my fancy. And I was like, who says that? But yes, okay, yeah, you're Elizabeth Banks.
Right.
Okay, thanks. And then I went to go sing, and my mom gave me the idea to change one of the lyrics in the songs to Spanish so that they knew that I spoke Spanish. And I think I was just so nervous that I blanked. I was just like, La Cerida. Oh, I'm gonna do this part in Spanish. I should let you guys know. I was trying to cover up. I didn't even know what I was trying to do. And then I started from the beginning of the little song and then I did it, and it was fine. But I was just like, well, there goes that, you know. And then
it's always worse than what it really is, you know. I'm sure they probably thought it was cute, which is obviously why you got the role. But of course, it's like it's nerve-wracking for you. You're like,
my God,
I forgot the line. Like I'm supposed to be an actress.
Right.
You would think. But
that's like one of the biggest things about it, memorizing your lines. But they called me back, and I was kind of surprised and shocked, and I was like, okay, cool. I think it was like my ability to joke around about it afterwards, because I was just
your ability
like,
probably improv too, like kind of just be quick on your feet and
because I was
know how
just
to bounce
like
back.
just so like I was joking around about it because what else can you do? Like, you know, hey, by the way, I forget stuff. You know, like, I don't know. And so they called me back, but I was going to Miami for my birthday. Oh. So I did like something.
What a birthday gift.
Huh?
It's a good birthday gift that you contact her.
Like on that day where I was leaving, and I did something super sneaky. I went to the airport and was like a little bit after my flight had left, and been like, oh my God, I missed my flight. So then they put me on the next flight just because
oh my God, I love that. Actually, a lot of people probably do that. I would not even be surprised.
Okay, I just didn't want to like change my flight, you know, because it was like a lot of money. Right. So I did that, and I went to the airport. I faked that I missed my flight. I'm sorry, Virgin America. And then I just like called myself out. And then I went to the audition, to the callback. I did the callback, and then I went back to the airport. I went to Miami and got the second flight.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's like ambition, girl. That's just like
crazy. Or crazy. I don't know. Ambition or crazy.
Find a way or leave one. When the world is away, you know?
Yeah,
completely crazy.
And then in the callback, you know, she kind of threw a curveball at me at the end of the audition. She's like, all right, great. So we're going to do the scene again. And then afterwards, I just want you to improv, like, about your character. And I was like, oh, okay. And a time limit? She goes, just go. And I was like, you don't have to tell me twice. So I just, like, went off. And you know, you get outside of your brain. And I didn't even remember what I said. But they were laughing. And it was fun. And so.
Wow.
Then a couple weeks later, I found out that I got it.
And I think throughout the movie, did a lot of actors do a lot of improv? I'm sure Elizabeth Banks, did she allow that?
Oh, yeah.
Throughout the whole movie?
Like, she's so wonderful at that. Like, there was one point where I was, like, wrapped, and I stayed on set to watch her and John Michael Higgins as the commentators just go, because...
They were so good at commentating, by the way.
They were just so good in life.
So natural. I know. They win.
They win. They're just, improv is so good. They're so in tune, and they listen, and they like really work well together. So I like stayed to watch them. Rebel obviously is just so great at it, and you know, we were able to play at times, and which will hopefully be on the DVD extras. I don't know.
Those are always fun.
No, you know, it was like everybody was able to like explore, and she like gave us like, all right, this take is for you, go for it. And so that was really like so cool to experience, because she trusted us with our characters so much, which was really
That's
cool.
so nice to have trust between the director and the actors. How was she different from being, I mean, she's a female director. Yeah. What was it like working with a female director versus the other directors? I mean,
you know, it's just, I think like the biggest thing to me that I noticed was just like the attention to detail that other people might just be like, it's okay, we'll figure that out.
What specifically do you remember?
You know, like I remember the DSM machine when they had their performance. Right. It was just like you know, they were just gonna perform on the stage, and then she was like, we should have the like video, you know, and then they had that video of you know, the commissar like coming up, and like that was like a really cool touch.
Like, you knew what was happening in the background.
And like
that was an amazing touch. Yeah.
And then, you know, we like we like added some like Spanish into the finale for my character to say, just to add, because we are at the World and we're representing each other, and we all have such different distinctive personalities, and like there it was just like, why don't we add that touch? And I was like, that's just like perfect. And it's like, you know, it was like a nice little touch, but there were throughout the whole thing, you know, she was just like very, very cognizant of everything that was going on. So
that's a skill, to be so observant and just to know what little particular thing would work for that scene or for that line. It just probably when you're watching it before, it's like something's not right,
off, and she knows exactly.
Like, there you go, it's perfect.
Yeah, she knows exactly what to do, and I think it comes with being on the other side of the camera too.
Definitely.
So she, you know, has so much experience on that side that she knows kind of what to add to make a scene really pop.
Completely. And the scenes, some of the scenes, oh my god, I don't even know if you can even choose your favorite. There was the riff off was so cool with
insane
Green Bay Packers.
Those boys are so fun. Those men. Those boys. Like I'm not like a quarter of their size.
They may act like boys, but man, they look like men. Like completely.
They're so funny.
Yeah.
They're so cool. They actually know like all the choreography from the finale of the first Pitch Perfect.
No.
Yeah.
Did they perform it for you guys?
Yes, they did. And it was the best. It was like, they were so funny.
How did they get involved? Like what?
I think one of them don't quote me on this, I'm not completely sure, but like one of them sent out a tweet, and then Max Handelman, or it was either Elizabeth Banks, one of the two, saw the tweet and tried to figure out how to make it work, and they were so game, and they were like, for a couple of days, but like they definitely made their presence known.
Oh my god,
just
completely.
like, oh my god, can they stay for the rest of the shoot? Right. Like these guys are just so much fun. And we went karaoke one night, we went to dinner another night. They're just like so much fun and so cool.
Wow.
Big Pitch Perfect fans.
That's just crazy. It's just so random, but I love it. I love the intersection of sports and acapella.
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
Like who would have ever known? What was the most difficult part though of shooting this movie that you think today?
I think
challenged you as an actor, you know?
Yeah, I think it was, and I respect all these a cappella groups. Like I didn't realize how difficult it was to sing your part and then also do choreography, because I sang the bass line most of the time, which was funny because I'm like the tiniest one singing like the lowest note. I'm like, boom, boom, you know?
Like, where is that coming from?
It's like, what's happening? And then I was singing the bass line, and usually the choreography was to the lyric or something. So you have to like really concentrate. To make sure you're doing it in sync and all together. So that was a little harder than I thought.
Yeah. But now you pretty much mastered it almost, so that's good.
We had like a month of rehearsal, which I'm so grateful for, because we had a lot of musical numbers in this movie. And you know, the choreography is just insane and so on another level, and the arrangements in the music are really cool. So yeah,
I think that's just why it's like such a big franchise, because of the music, dancing element, singing element. It brings people to kind of an escapism, and they love being. That's why Broadway, all those productions are just so popular. Even Bollywood, I have a shout out.
Yeah,
which is why it's so popular. You know, it's all about the singing and the dancing. It adds to it.
And it makes you happy. It makes you happy.
It makes you happy. Are you still in touch with all the girls?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like
I love those girls.
Such a good bond, right?
Yeah. Again, like I feel like we're, you know, sorority sisters and stuff. We just we went through this thing together. And like this will bond us forever. And I mean, tonight like the Bachelorette starts or something, and I'm gonna go see it with some of the girls.
That's so fun.
Yeah,
that's so nice.
You know, it's fun that we get to like just continue having a friendship outside of the movie.
It really showed that you guys had so much chemistry. It really, really did show. Now, kind of what's next for you? I know that you obviously you have Teen Beach coming out in the summer, so definitely check her out then. And you just did a cover with James Maslow.
Yes, of the song Flashlight.
For the song Flashlight that was in the movie. I guess it was an original, you guys played it off as an original in the movie.
Right.
But it was actually originally sung by
Jesse James.
J.
Jesse James. Who is Jesse James?
Isn't that confusing? James Maslow and Jesse J.
Yes.
How was it doing the cover with him? I mean, I saw a video and you did
awesome. Oh, thank you.
Great.
Thank you. It was great. He is so talented and so driven. You know, we did the video the morning after the Pitch Perfect 2 premiere.
I don't know how you did that.
I don't even know either. I'm like, how do I not look like The Walking Dead right now? I was like, don't even understand. But
makeup is the answer.
Yeah, and lighting. But it was great. What a wonderful experience. He like so knows what he's just such a pro. And we got in the studio, we recorded in no time, and then we did the music video, and it was such a pleasant experience. He's such a great guy, and I'm so happy that we got to do that.
Good. Everyone should definitely check that out on YouTube. Flashlight with Chrissie Fit and James Maslow. And just, you know, last question, wrapping it up. I mean, what, going forward,
was that
what does this mean for you? Well, hey, it's a cool little tune.
Yeah. Hey. Let's do an acapella song to it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's calling me.
I love this. Because you sing. I mean, you're like everywhere now. But like, what do you want to be focusing on more? Is it just all of it bringing in?
I don't know.
What's your 5-year plan?
What's my 5-year? I wish I knew. Well, I just finished writing a feature film with my writing partner, and I want to be able to like
just do it all.
Do my own movie and star in a movie that I write, and then I'm also producing. And I know that's like really ambitious, but I feel like, you know.
Is there a specific message you want to tell in this movie, or is it, what kind of genre is it?
It's a comedy as well.
Okay.
And it's, you know, two females who are just getting in troubles just like the boys, and just holding their own and being, you know, fearless and funny and you know, because I just think that that females have such a strong voice in this industry, and now we're just starting to like kind of pay attention. And with this weekend, with Pitch Perfect 2, and like with the things to come, you know, I just feel like we're at a position where it's like, we rock movies, guys.
We run the world.
We run the world. I mean, who doesn't listen to Beyonce?
Yeah.
I mean, she just told us a couple of years ago, and now we're finally figuring it out.
Right?
That we run the world now.
Completely. I love that. I love that. Thank you, Chrissie. Thank you for being an inspiration.
Yeah, and thank you.
Thank you for doing an amazing job at Pitch Perfect 2. You have to check Chrissie out because she was spectacular, and so was the rest of the cast and the crew. Thank you again for tuning in to the Spotlight On. If you haven't yet, go to youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. Go to iTunes and SoundCloud as well. And you can follow me, your host, Kanika Lal, on Twitter at Kanika Lal, and Instagram at YouCanHaveItLal. And Chrissie Fit, where can they find you on social media?
At ChrissieFit.com for both Instagram and for Twitter.
Sweet. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Aka out.
Aka out.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.